Welcome to Phrygian. It's a podcast. What do we do on the podcast? Yap. We yap a whole lot. We have a special little guest with us here. What's your name? Who are you? Man in the corner.
Hi, I'm the man in the corner.
What's your name, man in the corner?
I'm Somachi, the man in the corner.
Oh, wow. It's because he's sitting at the corner of the table in the radio station. Anyway, so what's your whole deal? What do you do? I.e., what's your major? What do you study?
Well, I'm presently here as a music performance major.
Ooh, what kind of specialization? What's your instrument?
I am the instrument. I'm a vocalist.
Wow, that's so cool. What kind of vocal part do you sing?
That has been a point of contention for a good while, but my voice has settled on tenor.
Ooh, that's so fun. I know exactly what that means. I pinky swear.
Tenor bros.
Miles plays the tenor saxophone
I
sometimes.
also sing tenor, so
Wow, you
now
sing
what?
tenor? That's crazy. Anyway, Machi is our wonderful, wonderful friend in the corner who is here to assist us in our discussion as we talk about some of the concerns and just general, topics about the music community when pertaining to the Black community.
Because it's also Black History Month.
Exactly. Thank you, Miles. He told me to just talk, and now I'm talking, and sometimes that's a bad idea. But anyway, Miles is being a little administrative tech boy. But anyway.
I am.
Any hoosies. Yeah. So how are we feeling tonight, everybody? How are we doing? Somachi, how you doing?
I'm feeling pretty great. I'm a bit nervous as this is my first time doing something like this, but thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing great, Sweaty.
Thank you, Marley. So anyhow, where are you from, Machi?
I'm from just outside of Boston.
Wow.
You know precisely where? No, you don't. I never told you.
Real.
But I've been there for as long as I've grown up. And yes, that is the answer to that question.
We got a little Bostonian sort of adjacent. I don't know. I'm not from New England. I genuinely, sometimes people will tell me places in New Hampshire, and I take my hands and I make a little triangle, and I go, if New Hampshire is a triangle and this is Keene, where is the... Yeah, so you get the gist of how well I know geography of New England. Let's see. So with that music performance degree, what do you want to do with that, Machi?
Wow, that's a huge question.
That's the question every music major gets all the time.
It is,
what
yeah.
What do you want to do with that? I don't know. Live.
As another music performance major, I completely understand the anxiety behind that because I'm also like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I'm just.
You also don't have to have an answer, but sometimes people are just like, ooh, I want to do...
Yeah, tell us right now.
Immediately, make up your mind. This is actually locking you in.
If I'm being completely honest, the goal is to, perform.
Whoa, that's crazy. What kind of style do you want to perform?
I have fun with recitals,
Yeah.
I hope to perform an opera, but I don't know if I have the overall physical stamina to do that yet.
Opera takes a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even the biggest opera fan, but when I watch opera, I'm like, okay, like, y'all are really going at it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like a musical, but worse.
Worse.
Oh my god. Seems we got a opera hater over here. Marley just nodded, so that's...
I don't know if they can hear me. Hi.
We're sharing a mic. There are only 3 functional mics, and therefore, Anyway, so now into the, topic of the episode. Wow.
Yippee.
See, we have this handy-dandy list of questions for Somachi because he's new. And sometimes we don't want to just make people, talk off the cuff. Like, we may be super good at being off topic, but we don't need to assume that Machi is too. So anyway, Somachi,
Yeah.
in terms of your own personal music and like what you do you take influence from Black culture for yourself? If so, where from?
In the pieces that I can apply it, then I'd like to say that I do. It's fairly rare that in a large ensemble, for instance, that we'll get a piece written by a Black composer, or if we'll do like a spiritual piece, it'll be like once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
So I'll have to really find Black composers and I just have to find rep on my own if I really want it, I suppose.
Yeah, I feel like it's really difficult too, since we go to like a classically trained music school, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
we
a lot
also
of
go
what
to
we're
a
doing,
predominantly white institution.
yeah,
so.
a lot of what we're doing is like old dead white people.
Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Interrupt all you want.
Please do
Yeah.
interrupt.
Oh, sweet. Most of where music is indeed taught, that's just how you learn it. It's very centered around Europe, like, history.
Yeah.
And the consequences of that, or at least part of, or at least one consequence, is the almost erasure of any other types
Oh,
of
yeah.
knowledge. And
Yeah.
in music especially, we tend to overlook the vast just richness of music and history and culture that is not from a certain part of Europe.
Yeah. No, that actually, you're doing great today because you're tying in all of our points. That's so impressive. I'm so proud of you. So, in your opinion, on the inaccessibility of music, because it's very hard to like open up in terms of like both performers, like audience members, composers. I remembered the word. It's very inaccessible for like the Black community, especially and like over the past like many moons, forgot the word for years, over the past couple decades, it's very much been focused on, like you said, erasure. I know we have some talking points about that, Miles, which we'll bring up later. A lot of erasure of Black artists. How do you find, like, for yourself, like, how do you feel about that? Like, is it hard to watch that happen? Because it continues to happen.
As someone that has been made aware of it, instead of like watching it happen, because I'm only so many years old.
Yeah.
So many moons old, I suppose. I'm only so old, so I can only like use history as a reference.
Yeah.
And see how that shapes today. And it's sad to say that I am like used to it.
Yeah.
Growing up, going to predominantly white schools and continuing that pattern now, I'm just kind of numb to it.
Yeah.
But in my own time, I try.
Yeah.
Find lesser known composers.
Yeah.
See, like, I don't know. So, I've started stuttering.
It's okay.
Continue.
Sorry.
You're doing great. Yeah, so do you have any like fear related to that? Like, you see yourself going into a performance field, obviously, hence the major. So, trying to break into a predominantly, white centric field as a Black man is just, it's a hard thing to do. Does that give you a sense of anxiety about it?
At times it does, but it's not like I can do anything about it.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
point.
just going to have to do my best to survive.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is in the music industry. Survival.
Yeah.
And even if I'm not ready for the challenges that come with being a Black man in a very, very overwhelmingly white industry, even if it's not so much so anymore, it's just one of those, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate, and hopefully, hopefully the industry won't be so overwhelmingly white and more welcoming to people of color just in general.
Yeah. Marley has something to say.
And I forgot. And I feel like even now we're seeing a lot more people of color being able to break into the scene as, as like years go by. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's all right. And I think like a lot of people now are like realizing we need to have like more diversity in music and stuff. So I hope that it gets easier for a lot of people, and this is a part of why we're doing the podcast, just to like shine light upon like these marginalized communities as well.
Yeah, we are turning the microphone so that I can talk into it again. There's so many different like artists and composers that are out there that are just like not gonna be as big as, you know, Bach or Chopin, and it doesn't matter that they were dead centuries ago. They're like, oh my god, they're so amazing, and it's like, okay, I mean, I guess, but have you heard, you know, this huge slew of people from the 21st century? Because even in terms of like modern composition, that's a hard thing to deal with anyway. Modern composition, trying to break through, Miles, you can attest that that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, there's just a lot of the music community is very much stuck in the past, and they refuse to admit that they're stuck in the past, so that makes it worse.
Yeah, for sure. And I know it's very difficult for marginalized communities. I mean, have you had any, like, have you noticed any effect on that yourself personally, or seen it in, you know, other people?
In terms of what exactly?
In terms of like the general discrimination against, you know, people of color.
I mean, when it comes to American history and black culture, there's always been like a struggle in a sense, where people who don't have who want a seat at the table and don't have one are constantly being told that no matter what they do, they're not going to, you know, be nearly as influential as the people who are already there.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I think that's just what history has done to black composers.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a piece last semester in my voice rep from 19, I'd say like the late 10s, early 20s, composed by H.T. Burleigh, if anyone's heard of him.
I have not.
Yeah. But that just, the fact that you haven't heard of him, despite all that he's accomplished and all that he's written, just kind of goes to show you the lack of importance that is placed upon black art.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem.
Right.
Yes.
And that persists. That persists. I mean, we all know that people have had their issues with award shows. Like the Grammys, right?
Yeah.
2016, it was like a big point of contention. People still argue about it today. And I think that the Grammys are very, very rigged.
Yeah.
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 Most definitely.
I mean, you've heard it from The Weeknd, you've heard it from Kanye, you've heard it from Nicki. Every year there's like a snub, especially for like album of the year. You know that a black woman hasn't won album of the year since 1999. That was Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
And we've had Beyonce come out with amazing records.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj, the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And-
crazy.
And bringing this outside of the hip hop genre in modern times, we've got. I mentioned The Weeknd earlier. Oh my goodness, people were up in arms about that and still are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
As
I
it
just
should be.
say, I don't think Taylor Swift deserved Album of the Year this year.
That's a choice to say on the radio show.
I have
Midnight's was
friends.
not that good.
Okay,
Oh no.
I will agree with that because it is true. I
Yeah.
will agree because it's true.
Yeah.
Midnight's, the word mid is in it. That's all I say.
Yes.
But like work like that is still being
Yeah.
is still being put on such a high pedestal.
It's valued so highly for no real reason.
I feel like now, sorry, I keep like moving the mic away from Liz. I feel like now, like music production is more highly valued over the music itself, which is crazy. Because we all just care about capitalism.
It's the higher the production value, the less like meaning you have behind the word. It's like the 90s boy band craze. Like Backstreet Boys, what were they talking about? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
That is in sync, but close.
It's ironic that we're seeing white people dominate the popular music industry and winning all the awards when all of the popular music we listen to today was created by black people and founded on black genres.
No, absolutely.
Such as like R&B, blues, rock, jazz, all of that. It's all based on that, and yet we're seeing more importance placed on the white artists that are taking that over now.
Also, can we talk about how Beyonce just released a country album and now people are mad at her because country is quote-unquote a white genre?
Which is such a crazy thing.
There was a radio station recently that refused to play it on the radio because they said they only play country music and she didn't count.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It was
Like,
similar thing when Lil Nas came out with like
Yes.
Yeah.
It was more, and it was a lot less serious because that's his style as a creator. But it's a similar concept.
Yeah.
America has a cultural pattern of taking bits and pieces of black culture, whether that's in like music or like just like the modern vernacular has changed so very much.
Yeah.
Because of people just picking little things from AAV and harmful stereotypes of black people.
Yep.
And that goes on, and when we have, like, for example, like little white kids trying their hardest to like fit in with what's cool today, and then they bring that home. They bring like certain behaviors home that are not great for like kids to bring home, and then it becomes, and then being, how do I say, certain parts of being black are in America anyway are demonized, especially as being harmful to like the idea of the family.
Yeah, that nice 1950s nuclear family, perfect wife, perfect kids. Yeah.
And it's very painful to see that.
Yeah.
And country music, its roots come from quite literally slave ships.
Yeah. I mean,
And we have radio stations locking out Beyonce, saying, "Oh no,
because it's a white
that doesn't belong to you."
Like,
and the sad part is anymore.
Yeah.
Is taking so much of like little bits and pieces of like black culture and much bigger parts of black culture inherited or like straight up stole them.
Yeah.
And just as a country is like, oh, look at all this stuff that we offer. Treating people who look like me as second-class citizens.
Oh yeah.
Treating everything that I create and I do as like brutish and thuggish. I can't wear my hair in a certain way to a job interview, but if someone decides, hey, if someone goes to a barber and says, I want this, and I know you can make it happen, they go into that same interview with their hair looking like mine, and it's
totally different.
How fast can you be here on Sunday?
Yeah, and they're actively profiting off of it every single day.
It's
no, it's crazy.
It's clothing, it's music.
It's still that idea of like, it's almost like a forced assimilation. If black people don't fit in with the white stereotype, then they're gonna get punished for existing in their own space, which is exactly what has happened historically. Like the crowding out of like both black populations and Native American populations in America, especially in the early colonial period, is just insane. And it's just like, you look at all of these things and you're like, there's a pattern, there is a trend. Like, again, with the country music, the banjo came from Africa. Like, it is not an American instrument. It started with the genre of hillbilly music, which then got perpetuated as, it was like color pop or something like that. Or color records, that's what they called it. And then it became country, but only for white people. Mm-hmm. And then it like took off as like the white genre about your girlfriend and your beer.
Yeah, and even when talking about modern country music, you also have to acknowledge the fact that the events of 9/11 also really impacted what we call country music today and completely changed it. Like now it's all, I love America. America is the best. It can do no wrong because of the influence of that event.
Oh yeah, I mean that pushed such the nationalism has always been present. America has always been, oh my God, we're so much better than everybody else. Since pretty much since its founding. And is that true? Or are they just dumb luck? Let's be honest. It's a lot of dumb luck. And honestly, are they better than anyone else? I'm gonna go with no.
Wow.
Controversial take, I know. But it's just half of what America is based on was stolen from other cultures. And half of their victories were just based off of dumb luck. And in the case of the Revolutionary War, the French. Don't mind me being a history major for a minute. Anyway, yeah, it's crazy. So many things.
Yeah.
And I'd completely lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? Right, nationalism. I hate it. Yeah. Speaking of things that I don't hate, actually, music. I love music. I'm a big fan. I'm really good with segues, everybody. It kills Marley every time I do one of those where I just completely go off the rails with whatever I'm talking about. But we do have some music queued up for you today. Ooh, I'm gonna let Miles talk now because he picked the first one.
Yeah, so I have been listening to a lot of this South African cellist and composer named Abel Selouche. He's incredible. He does things with the cello that I did not know were possible. And he, uses it as a string instrument, obviously, because it's a string instrument. But he also, incorporates percussive sounds into cello that I feel like a lot of people don't do much. The only other people I've seen incorporate the percussive into the cello is two cellos, which is, a pair of cello players. Wow.
Two cellos is a pair of cello players?
Anyways.
Whoa! I don't know.
Anyway.
Oh my God, wait guys, I think it might be the cello.
Whoa.
Hot take.
Anyways. Oh God. Anyways, this is On the Sharp Side by Abel Selouche. All right, welcome back. You are still listening to Phrygian, the podcast on WKNH 91.3 FM, Keene State College Radio.
Whoa. Crazy news, everybody. Updates from Miles. Anyway. Hi, welcome back. We're still talking.
So that was Abel Selouche on The Sharp Side. I really enjoy that piece. He has a whole album, and I was listening to it in the gym yesterday, and oh my God. Some of his slower, more lyrical pieces are genuinely so beautiful. I sometimes have a hard time connecting to classical music, I will admit. But I was in the gym, gripping onto the elliptical, oh my God, gripping onto the elliptical.
White-knuckled, absolutely going at it.
Yeah.
I love when classical becomes a background for gym music. Speaking of classical music, Somachi, do you have any personal preferences in terms of classical music?
Oh wow, I'm here too.
Yeah, hi, Machi's still here. And he's staying close to the mic, because our outside sources have told us he may be a little quiet.
Enough on that. To answer your question, kind of like Miles, I also had a little bit of difficulty, sometimes I still do, connecting with classical music. Sometimes a new piece does not hit the way that it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I do find something that I really, really do enjoy and want to do a deep dive into, it's a phenomenal experience.
Yeah. What's your favorite piece that you have sung so far in your college career? This is kind of asking you to think back in the past, but
for those who know, and know you shall, it has to be Phrygian. It's got to be it's definitely top 5 for me that I have done, just because its message it's clear, it is simple, but it is so grand, and it's just it's overwhelming gratitude and something about that makes me really, really excited to perform.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think performance is a lot easier when you connect to the piece that you're playing.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have that sort of, like, emotional quality behind it, something that I would know a lot about, which is what Marley's face is currently telling me, without having an emotional power behind it, it can be a lot harder to make it sound the way that it should. Yeah, I have known this. Marley, would you like to explain why you're looking at me the way that you're looking at me right now?
Liz doesn't put a lot of emotion into their music.
I reacted the way I did just now because I just realized that I named my piece, but I didn't name the composer. Guys, it's Strauss. We got Strauss. Don't hurt me, anyone who's listening. I know what I'm doing here.
You gotta go, Machi.
It's okay.
Speaking of me not playing with emotion, just a silly little anecdote. Marley and I were practicing earlier, and he was like, "You really gotta put like energy into it." And he was like, and so I did. And he was like, "Oh my god, that was so much better." And I was like, "Yeah." Anyway, I want some Nerds gummy clusters. That's what I was thinking about the entire time I was playing that. And he was
so
like,
real.
Ads about those.
Oh.
And I don't. They're cool. I like them. They're like weirdly popular. I'm scared.
I just really enjoy them because it's like being able to eat Nerds, but like without having to dump it in your mouth. Do you know what I mean?
I understand.
It seems like the texture of aquarium gravel.
It's a little bit like that. Like what you want aquarium gravel to be textured like. It has like
Yeah.
that gummy feeling in the middle, and then it's like crunchy on the outside. Now, hear me out, everybody. This topic got a little derailed.
Yeah. Anyways.
PSA, I love Nerds gummy clusters.
Wow.
Moving on.
This is not sponsored by Nerds Gummy Clusters, unfortunately.
I just really like them.
Do you want to sponsor it?
Nerds gummy clusters, pretty please sponsor us, Phrygian the podcast. We apparently promote you for no reason. Well,
Anyways.
not no reasons, because you're amazing. I'll stop talking about this. Miles, words.
We
Hi.
have another piece coming up.
Yeah, here's a little preview to the piece. I'm not gonna start singing it, that would be weird. But, it is Baba Yetu by Christopher Tin. Yeah,
Thought of me, didn't
I
you?
did.
Oh, that's
And so basically this is like Somachi and my like #1 piece. We really want to do this with the orchestra and concert choir. Dr. Hart, Dr. Howard, if you're listening, like let's make this happen. We've been saying this for like 2 years.
I beg of that.
So long. But yeah, here it is. It's amazing. If like Somachi needs to be like the tenor on this, like for the solo, and like no one else.
All right. That was Baba Yetu by Christopher Tin.
Phenomenal. I love it. For those of you who weren't in the studio, i.e. all of you who are listening, you didn't get to hear Machi's amazing performance of it, but
Yeah.
I personally think that we should petition to let Machi sing that piece immediately because it was
Yeah.
phenomenal. Anyway, we also have, hear me out guys, another piece for you. Ooh, it's a piece that is by Valerie Coleman. Who is Valerie Coleman? Ooh, I'll tell you. She is a well-known flutist and composer. I said flutist, not flautist, because Marley gets all pokey at me every time I say flaut. You do?
Do you play the flout?
Yeah.
Flute.
When I'm talking in German, I play the flaut. So there. So anyway, she's a well-known flutist and composer. She began playing the second-hand electronic organ. It's very fancy. She was born in Louisville, Kentucky, and she is also known as the creator of the Imani Winds, which is a wind quintet that seeks to diversify classical wind repertoire, which I think is great. It's phenomenal. They use perspectives of previously untold stories, and they use motifs from classical, folk, and urban music in order to write those pieces. And Valerie Coleman wrote the particular piece Umoja, and performed it with the Imani Winds, which is funny enough what we're going to listen to. And I know Marley has some stuff to say about Valerie Coleman because we like the flute.
Okay. So this is kind of like a personal tidbit story thing. Unfortunately, I did not get like the pleasure of meeting her, but I very well could. So there's a school in New York. It's called the New School. It's like the men's school of music, I think, and Valerie Coleman is on the faculty there. and their audition process is, to like play a bunch of different pieces, but one of them has to be by a composer of like color and like as of like recent. So one of or like they still have to be alive. And one of the pieces that they put on there was Danza de la Mariposa by Valerie Coleman. So basically what they're saying is play the piece that this woman wrote in front of her and like, don't mess it up. Like be perfect at it. Anyway,
that's terrifying.
Yeah. So I looked at that and I was like, that's terrifying. And then I looked at the tuition and I was like, that's even scarier. So no, because it was about like $100,000 a year.
What?
Yeah. No, it's like criminal. So Valerie, if you're listening, give me a scholarship. But yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Umoja by Valerie Coleman, and the Amani wins. Ooh.
Yippee. So we just listened to the Amani wins play Umoja, and we know that the two flautists in the room really like Valerie Coleman.
It's true. We do.
Yes. Yeah. Because I'm self-centered, I just wanted to talk about my favorite contemporary black composer, Julius Eastman. He's not alive anymore because he died pretty young, but he's
not alive because he died.
Yeah, that, yeah.
Wow.
But
Really smart.
he was from New York City.
You're not alive.
He was from New York City, and he was a gay black man during the, I want to say the 70s. But he was a mostly minimalist composer, and I'm not a huge fan of minimalism normally, but I really enjoy his pieces. So that's my favorite, Julius Eastman. Somachi, do you have a favorite composer?
I mean, I mentioned Burley before, but if anyone in the room or listening has watched either Us or Get Out, if you're familiar with those scores,
Yes.
you've heard of Michael Abels before.
Yes.
Pretty cool, huh?
Whoa, that is so cool.
Yeah, that was a fun fact.
We love
Yeah.
a fun tidbit.
I love the Us soundtrack.
I need to watch Get Out again. I only saw it once, and I remember that being an entire experience. And I'm not one for horror movies.
I think that's the only Jordan Peele movie I haven't seen yet, and I have to get on it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd recommend it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Any
Jordan
woozy.
Peele. So we mentioned earlier about how a lot of credit is stolen from black artists and given to white artists. And I'd say a large example of that was the Elvis Presley, who got the credit for a lot of pieces and songs he did not write, including Hound Dog by Big Mama Thornton. You want to talk about this, Somachi, because this is the one you put on the playlist?
This is one of a few that I have found. Goodness, I have like a million tabs. Whoa. All right.
Wowzies.
I found a list of 10 instances where Elvis himself had just taken slightly tweaked or very minorly modified a piece and put it back out or re-released it and said, hey, this is mine. And this is one of those pieces. It's very, very recognizable, extremely iconic, and real good, especially when it's done as originally intended.
Yeah, I know, like, contemporarily, this song was referenced in Doja Cat's Vegas for the Elvis movie, but she used the actual original Big Mama Thornton recording instead of the Elvis recording, which I liked personally.
Oh yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah. So this is Hound Dog by Big Mama Thornton. All right, that was Hound Dog by Big Mama Thornton.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
I've said it every other time we've come back from break, so I just have to continue saying it. You know how it is. You get it. So anyway, there's a lot going on this podcast.
Yeah.
What do we have coming up in the following couple weeks, Miles?
I mean, next week, Marley is leaving us.
He's
to go to
Yeah, I'm
so-
gonna be in New York.
Oh, at this like really small school. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Can I do the joke?
Here, you
Because
pull
how
your
you
bit.
pronounce it? I don't know.
Yeah, so no, like it's it's in this really small town in New York. I don't know if you like know it. It's like starts with an I, like Ithaca, and like the school. It's like it's so small. I think it's known for its like being around for a long time. Yeah, no, I'm going to Cornell.
He really likes to be I say this lovingly, moderately pretentious about it. It's super funny.
I mean, it's the only time I would ever step foot in an Ivy League, so.
Yeah. Anyway, so Marley's
going to leave
ditching us.
So, Liz
Me
and
and
I are
Miles.
going to be talking about sexy vampires, aka the music of Twilight. The Twilight Saga.
I cannot.
I thought we could have been talking about a number.
Oh yeah, we could have. Honestly, maybe we'll tie in some. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Maybe
I
we'll
mean,
be
we
tying
still
in
have
some
9
interview with
minutes.
a vampire music. I don't know. We'll see about it.
Oh.
Okay, so we're gonna tie in some interview with a vampire music because
We're gonna
Miles
talk about vampire music.
Miles went, what? He's like a dog with a little tail. And he went,
Talk about what we do in the shadows if this is a vampire themed episode.
no.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
I
yes.
said okay.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Anyways,
Well, okay.
can we get back to our original
No,
topic?
I did want to watch it. You just got distracted, and we watched The Bear. Anyway,
I should watch that one. I've heard of it.
it's so good. Yeah. Anyway, off that topic, we're going to be talking about music from Twilight, Interview with a Vampire, perhaps even What We Do in the Shadows, which is a vampire TV show, if you didn't know. Now, the reason we will be talking about Twilight, I love Twilight so much. It's chronic, and I have never once stopped talking about it. Miles and I, one of the first things that, like, the three of us did as friends was make Marley watch Twilight with us because he had never seen it.
Yeah.
And we were like, that's just sad. How could you live without seeing all 5 movies of a saga known as Twilight?
And I responded very easily.
I'm sorry, there are 5 of them?
Yeah, because they broke the last one into 2
Right.
parts. Because, like, even the written book is, like, 2 parts. Technically, it's just in 1 book.
Right.
Yeah. Or it's actually 3. Is it 3 or 4? I think it's 3.
know.
Sounds a bit
'Cause-
too convoluted to hold my attention.
Well, because there's book 1, and then there's book 2 from Jacob's perspective, and then I think it's book 3, which is back in Bella's perspective. Anyway, guys, don't worry about that.
Why do we care about Jacob's perspective?
Because Bella is in the midst of her pregnancy.
What? I know nothing about this season.
What?
I've heard bits and pieces, but like nothing that I will remember.
Yeah.
But what?
Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
Bella got preggo in the last book
Yeah. Well,
with a vampire baby, and
Well,
then she almost
yeah.
she technically did die.
yeah, in a way.
Anyways,
There was that great back crack scene.
yeah.
That's just me every time I get my back to crack.
Oh.
That was not painful. That was just me cracking my back, actually. Anyway, we also have other shows that we do, i.e., later weeks.
Related thing? Oh, sorry. I wanted to briefly talk about
Oh.
Castlevania.
Well, you talk then.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Castlevania. They got vampires too.
I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have other things. We do other things. Ooh, we're gonna talk about what? Right?
Marley said, "Haha, doo doo."
Marley made it funny for once.
That's vile.
Anyway, the week after, we're going to talk about our good friend Zach Kiri Keenan. We love him. He is an incredibly talented composer. Marley and I are both very excited. We will be playing on a piece for his capstone. I think that's something I'm allowed to say out loud.
Ooh.
Yeah, we play it on the flute. You like the flute?
I don't know why you're putting the microphone near my face. I was gonna say.
I know, but I just wanted to too. Anyway, yeah, so we've got that going on. Ooh, we're going to be talking about Irish folk music soon.
AKA my info dump episode.
Miles is so incredibly excited. He speaks a little bit of Irish.
A little bit, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Can you say hi?
I've been learning. I mean, the casual hi is just hi, but spelled Haigh.
Yeah, because
But
it's
the formal hi is Giadich.
Did it?
Giadich.
Did it?
Yes.
Right.
It
Wow.
means God be with you.
Oh, that's crazy.
because Ireland is a very Catholic country. Didn't know if you knew that.
Whoa, that's crazy. I speak a little bit of Swedish. The high is Hej
Yeah,
with a J.
yeah.
Because it's Swedish and there's a lot of J's for some reason.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how you say refrigerator?
Why do you know the word for refrigerator?
Because
Actually, I do know this.
Yeah, thank you. It's kylskåp.
Oh my god, refrigerator in Irish is Kushner.
Oh, that's
So
crazy.
it's similar.
Anyway, we'll stop talking about Duolingo now. Also, I just hit that 200-day streak the other day.
Love that.
I'm impressive. I love that we fully have enough topic to fill an hour with every single time we do this. We definitely do not get off track ever.
No, I
Why
mean,
would we?
this is sort of just like Somachi is on the show and we're having fun.
Yeah. Welcome
Yeah, 'cause,
to
like-
the Yap Sesh plus Somachi.
Yeah.
We really should have just named
Yeah.
this the Yap Sesh.
Yeah. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
the topic of black music and black musicians is just so broad. There's no way we can fit it in one
Oh
episode
God,
anyways.
no. Yeah,
So
we
this
had
was
our
like a Yap Sesh overview of stuff we enjoy.
yeah, we had our talking points. We've ran out of talking points. I like
Miles,
nerds gummy
did you do
clusters.
this talking points?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you get to do your talking points?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was when he was talking.
Wow.
Throwback.
Well, I didn't know if you were listening.
No, I know. Anyway, yeah, but we're having a good time with the Yap Sesh.
Yeah.
Miles, do you have a favorite candy? You look like it's Swedish fish.
No. I like gummy sharks.
I eated the gummy shark.
Yeah, I like gummy sharks. And I like sour stuff.
Same. Oh my god. Yeah. Machi, do you have a favorite?
I'm a big fan of anything chocolate. But gummy sharks
No.
are quite good.
I can
No.
respect that. Marley, do you have a favorite?
Reese's.
I feel like I should have known that.
I did know that.
Didn't?
No.
You know what else is super good? Muffins from Trader Joe's. Do you know what's great about Muffins from Trader Joe's? The song that Marley wrote about it this one time. Care to give us a rendition? Please.
I forgot.
No! This is a travesty.
Muffin from Trader Joe's.
Wait. It's coming back to me. It's coming. Trader Joe's muffin, I love you. Trader Joe's muffin, I love you. Thinking about how my professors are gonna listen to this later, and that's fine too. 'Cause I love Trader Joe's so much. Trader Joe's, come to Keene. I need it so bad. I don't want to drive 2 hours every time to get my muffins. Please, let me have my muffin.
What about
Thank
the
you.
Aldi's muffins?
All these muffins are alright,
And you just
but
have
I don't like them as much.
little rating songs for muffins across the world, do try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's really good? Sudbury Farms muffins. We should do like a little video of me just trying muffins.
Yes.
I think that'd be so. Yeah.
Just witnessing this song
Yeah.
that comes forth out of joy.
Yes. Yes.
Eating that muffin.
I like a good pistachio muffin every now and then, but I feel like chocolate chip is just where it's at.
Honestly, don't hate me for this. The DC makes some banging chocolate chip muffins.
How could I hate you for that?
You also enjoy them, so.
I love them.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what they put
It's
in them.
because they're still warm.
Yeah.
So the chocolate's all melty.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for the muffin talk.
Anytime. I think we should have a weekly muffin rating.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my
Of all the
god.
muffins I've had this week. Okay. So this morning for breakfast I had 3 muffins.
3! What kind?
Do you have any left
They-
in stock that I can just carry home?
No, I'm sorry. I got them from Target the other day. And so they I just want everyone to know that Miles is rocking back and forth in his chair. So the 3 muffins were oh my gosh. I don't have a lot of time. Coffee
Coffee cake?
coffee crumble and blueberry. Coffee crumble is so much better than the blueberry, but I wanted the variety, and Target doesn't really give a lot of that. But
All right.
yeah, anyway.
Thank you for the muffin review. This has been
Wait,
this week's
wait.
episode of Phrygian.
The muffin was like